You know, a lot of people are surprised what it takes to buy and develop a piece of crap. Many of my sellers say, well, why don't they just buy it, close on it, and build what they want? Well, it's gotten a lot harder or different and expensive and slow. So we're going to walk through that real quick and talk about it. So the first part about buying a piece of property and getting it ready to build on or redevelop is the getting it under contract. So first thing you have to do is you have to meet with the buyer and the seller and get them to agree on a price and some terms. And the hardest part in the purchase agreement is getting the seller to understand the length of time it will take for them to do their zoning, to do their due diligence. So many times it can take 6 months to a year for many of my projects to get through the zoning to where they can get approval to build something. So that's the hardest part, getting it under contract. Next, they've got to go and apply for a zoning and a variance and do some due diligence. So the first part, by the way, my neighbor grows these banana trees and they do not grow like I grow my grapes. But the first part, they got to go get some zoning done. And so they take their idea that they want to do on a property that they have under contract and they meet with the city or the town or the county, whoever's in charge, and they say, this is what we want to do here. We want to start the process. And the process is you have to go to a council or an APC or some sort of commission and get their approval based on what you want to build. Many times, they send you back to work again. And they say things like, we don't like your design, we don't like your doorknobs, you need to figure out where the utilities are, it could be a million different things, but that is a working back and forth process. Going through the zoning phase so that you can eventually get to where you build. Someone asked me, what's the zoning phase mean? What do you mean by zoning to build? Well, every property does not start out as zoned to have a building on it. So when you see a property that has like a gas station on it, they had to go before zoning and they had to get approval to put a gas station on it. And not only do they have to get the use approved, but they have to get the design approved. So many times they have to add brick, they have to turn it sideways, they have to create access points, they have to create a pocket park, which I think is hilarious. But anyways, that's what the zoning is. It's the use allowance on a property. Okay, let's say they get approval for the use variance, the zoning, whatever the structure is, and the design, all that stuff. They still got some due diligence to do. One of those things is the financial side of it. Can they financially do the project and make money, make a profit that they want to see? So now this is where the developers who are really, really good at this stuff, or the builders, go through and do the exact estimates on construction to see where their numbers end up at. They're going to have to put in roads, or do they have to run water and sewer? It's not just building the building. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes that they have to figure out and add to the cost of the development. All right, so we got our zoning done, and we've got our financing, study, budgeting done to see if it makes money. And so now we got to get a loan. So you go to the bank, and typically you have relationships with banks anyways, but you go to the bank, you take your idea, and you show them your assets, you show them the business plan, and you see if the bank will loan you the necessary money to not only build, but get the thing started. Once you have your property under contract, you have your zoning done, you got your budget study. Casey comes into the office. You've talked to the bank, you've got the loan. All you gotta do is close. It's as easy as that. So once you get closed though, the problem is there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's engineering, there's permits, there's all kinds of steps you still have to go through. So it's not easy to buy and develop property. If you're a seller and you think it works that way, it just doesn't anymore. And all of that can take 6 months to a year to, I'm working on one that's taken almost 2.5 years. So hopefully that helps you understand the process, and we go from there. Have a great day.